Hi, I'm Dr. Magazine RichWell with the College of Metaphysical Studies, and I'm here on interview with.
I'm Angel Thacker.
Uh-huh.
I'm the Joyous Life Coach. So thank you for having me. So excited to be here on the interview with you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you and spending this time with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for participating. So I know that you said you're the Joyous Life Coach. Can you tell us what it is that you do for a spiritual?
That's like a loaded question. I'm like the Jill of all trades because I do a lot of stuff from healing to intuitive works to coaching, and I've evolved from the start of when I was very young doing this to where I am now. And I think of myself as a coach, like an impact coach. I want to do more than just answer questions. I want to take people to their purpose. I feel people that are living in a purpose-driven life are happy and joyous. And I use the name Joyous Life Coach because I am a certified life coach. And I feel like joy is like the juice. It's like the gravy of life. And you can accomplish anything you want when you enjoy. And I don't know if you notice the thing about me, when people meet me, they're like, oh my God, you have such a big smile. And I lead with my smile. I live my life no matter what's happening. I'm like, okay, let's take a deep breath and get through this. And you can get through just about anything in life and joy. So when it comes to creating, the process of creation is so much smoother and so much more enjoy. There's more enjoyment in it when you're in a space of joy. So I don't just create goals. I don't just create abundance and prosperity. I create in you the space where you can create that joyous life, which includes love and money and all the things juicy and wonderful that make your life juicy and wonderful in here. I want to help you create it out there. So that's why I'm the Joyous Life Coach. I use all my tools, from practical kind of mainstream coaching, because I have that, to all the fun spiritual gifts that I have all of that too. And you put it all together in one big shiny box. And through that, I help you create the passion and the purpose-driven life that you feel you've been put here to do. I help make it happen. So that's what makes me the Joyous Life Coach.
Oh, that's wonderful. When did you first find out that you had the Joyous Life Coach spiritual gifts?
Okay, that's a good question. So, my family hails from the South. My mother's side of the family is from New Orleans. So we always kind of dabbled in this kind of stuff. When I was a little girl, I used to see what I called light people in the backyard. And I had people I talked to. I guess back in the day, we called them imaginary friends. We don't talk about imaginary friends anymore. But I would talk to people that I saw that nobody else saw. When people would pass away, I would see people, in the hospital walking around and such. And when I was 14 years old, we had the devastating event where my brother died. One of my brothers died. I'm the youngest of 7 siblings. And so one of my brothers passed away. And when he passed away, our lives just changed. Outside of this devastation of losing him, he was in another state when his stuff arrived, and my mother, took his stuff into our home. He was there, and it's hard to describe if you've never experienced. Like, he was there, and my mom reached out and found herself being ministered and being supported by the Reverend Gene Cook in the Metaphysical Spiritual Church in San Francisco. And I grew up in that church. And so it was an everyday thing for us. We gave readings, we healed. I did everything from Tai Chi to take tarot classes when I was young. So this was all so normal to me. Where in a normal church, they took communion, we got soul readings. So it was very, very easy for me to do the transition of just going out and just going to bookstores and going everywhere and just learning and reading and playing out there. And I just am a forever learner. I still take classes to this day as metaphysics evolves and changes and shifts. What I found was, as a reader, because I started off as a reader, I read tarot cards when I first started out, that I don't like to just read people. I like to take people through a journey of exploration and transformation. So I went from being just an intuitive to being an intuitive coach. And I went on to get a full certification as a master life coach, and I became the Joyous Life Coach just within the last 2 years. And so that's how I went from being a tarot card reader to being the Joyous Life Coach, which is really cool.
Oh, wow.
Little tiny girl.
So how far do you see your spiritual gifts reaching?
In terms of across the community?
Yes.
This virtual process a long time ago. I've done everything from being on psychic lines. I've done a lot of stuff. So it's kind of interesting how now that's where we're evolving. Getting out there and being on Zoom, like this is my space, this is my workspace. And you can see there's all kinds of eclectic things here in my home. I sit here and I have been doing this like this for like 4 years now, online with people. So I can talk to people as close as down the street from my house to as far away as Russia. I have a client, she lives in Russia. So as far as the divine spirit will allow your energy to connect, that's how far it'll go. So it really is about the filters that you have in your own process. Whether me be reaching out to you and then you receiving it. So there are no boundaries. There really aren't.
Yes.
We communicate with other dimensions. We communicate with other planets. There are people who do all kinds of cool stuff. So there are only boundaries that there are is the boundaries and the filters that you for you. And my filters are really very, very small. I don't have a lot of filters around my limitations. I just don't have enough time. I want to do it all. And that's the thing for me. I want to help everyone. And, the whole thing of reaching people in the time frame that there is, that's when it gets kind of muddled for me, because we got to sleep, we got to eat.
All the humanistic things. I guess with of course, and within the metaphysical community, you really don't have to prove yourself, because that's what metaphysicians do, right? All of the cool stuff that you mentioned. But for the person who is not a metaphysician, what is your reaction to them if they don't believe in your spiritual gifts?
That's really interesting, because I grew up in a Christian metaphysical spiritualist church. So Christian spiritualists. My energy is extremely Christian. I was raised Southern Baptist, and I have a strong connection to the Christ energy. So I have conversations all the time with people about the energies and the gifts, and I'm very clear and comfortable in the knowledge that this gift was given to me by the divine, that we all have access to it. When Jesus was here, that was part of his lesson to us, is that we have access to this. We can all heal, we can all prophesy. All the things that he did, you too can do. And it's interesting, because as you're interviewing me, we are actually speaking in the Holy Week. Tomorrow is Easter, and it's like, the fear is what comes up for me. A lot of my clients, or what I like to say is, they're the wounded Christians that have grown up and come up in uncomfortable scenarios around their relationship with a lot of the Christian churches. But it's not Christianity; it's the experience they had with people that managed the process. So people are going to hate. I work in the corporate world as well, and I used to be very concerned. It's like, this is me in the corporate box and this is me outside the corporate box. And now where I'm at in my life is like, this is who I am. You either like it or you don't. People are going to hate. And if you've been put here for a purpose, like I feel I have to learn to speak to the issues. People are coming at you in fear. And if people have real questions, then they'll ask and they'll let you talk about it. But sometimes people are like, you're the devil, you're a demon, and blah, blah, blah. And that's their fear. And I can't help that. All I can do is try. And it used to hurt, but it doesn't hurt anymore, because I know where it's coming from and I know who I am and I know why I've been put here. But I will try to educate them. I'll try to give them clarity. I speak the language that they speak. So, I don't talk about energies outside of the Christian mythology, because they're more comfortable with that. So I won't talk about fairies. I'll talk about angels, because that's what they are comfortable with. And I've helped a lot of people, especially when they have spirits and energies in their home. They don't know what it is. So, I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but, people get uncomfortable. People are afraid, right? And so But the interesting is that usually they're only talking to you because they need something. People
Right.
rarely walk up to you and point at you and I'm just gonna talk to you about how you're horrible. They usually come to you and they knock on your space and say, hey, I need help from you, but I don't know if I understand what you're doing. Right? So I have to talk to them about what I do and why I do it. And one of the main reasons I did the life coaching thing is because if they're real uncomfortable with it, I turn that off and you just need a coach, then let's just talk about life coaching.
Yes.
Because that's what you need. And that's what we're gonna do.
That's really diverse. I like that. Being able to wear multiple hats to accommodate the person to get them ultimately where they want to be, right?
Right. Because that's what it comes down to. Imagine this. This is what I always kind of put out there when I speak is like, what kind of world would it be if everybody was living in their purpose and in joy? What kind of society would we be? It'd be wonderful.
It would be wonderful.
We're diverse and we were inclusive and we were tolerant, respectful, and joyous. Wow. Talk about utopia, right? So I feel like I am a tool for people to help understand what their purpose is and get there. So sometimes getting to your purpose is about releasing and letting go and relieving blocks and healing and stuff. Sometimes we got to get work done. Right? And so that's the other side. It's like, what do you need to release? Is it in this life? Is it in past life? Are there cords to other people that you need to let go, that you need to heal? What do we need to do to get you in a space where you accept your divine purpose, that you're worthy of it, and that you have no fear, and that you go get it? And sometimes that's the hard part, is the healing and the releasing and
Yes, and that brings about my next question. For the concerned Christian, how does a Christian access your services without such fear?
So the thing about Christianity is that Christianity is connected to the Christ energy. So it's all about the Christ. It's about Jesus Christ and his connection to God, the Spirit. And that's the language that I speak. I take people through a process of just connecting to the divine spirit and being in a space of gratitude, and then finding where we need to heal and healing. And I don't connect to any other energy to do that. So the first thing that I would do to speak to that person is I would sit down with them as a coach and as a counselor, because I'm an ordained minister, to sit down with them and speak to them as a counselor would, to kind of figure out what it is that their fear is based on. You have to find out what the fear is based on, and usually that fear is about an experience they had before or what somebody else told them. I remember a young woman contacted me, and her father was in the hospital, and very, very fundamentally Christian person, but she was in a space of fear. And she, in the middle of the pandemic, and she thought he was transitioning, and he was transitioning, and she just needed to talk to somebody. And she called me, and I gave her some counsel. I said, look, I am not going to give you any services right now, because you're in a space where it would be inappropriate for me to say, give me some money and let's talk through this. But what you need to know is that you need to connect with God and the Christ energy and know that you need strength and support through this. And I gave her that. And it was a beautiful moment for her, because she was allowed to release and connect, and then connect to her father. And because she wasn't able to get in the hospital. That's been the hard part for a lot of people in this pandemic, is people are in the hospital and they can't go and touch them and talk to them because they're not allowed in the hospital. And because I was able to connect her through mediumship, she was able to have that moment that she wasn't able to have, that she wasn't at the hospital. And then I'm like, I'm gonna no charge, go forth and be fruitful. And it was a process in her life that she may never talk about because of the people around her. So she's like creating that safe space, no judgment. And that's my biggest thing, is my space. When I create a space for my client, there's no judgment. And so you can think it's weird. I have people in my family that think it's weird. You can think it's weird, but it's okay. It really is okay, because it's no more weird than anything else. There's a lot of weird stuff out there that's kind of fundamental in kind of the standard society. This has been around. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, right? So it's fear, and there's a lot of fear out there.
Yes. Well, I do want to bring this up because I think it's like really important. Not to switch the topic so abruptly, but you are a student at the College of Metaphysical
Yes,
Studies.
I am. Yes, I am. Thank you. Yes, I am.
I want you to talk to me about your processes thus far with your research and with the research proposal and how that's all going.
So it's really cool. So, it's kind of interesting for me because a lot of people, they'll go into the situation, they have like specific things. Like one would have thought, because of the nature of what I do, that I would have chosen to kind of dig deeper into my thing and like how this affects certain specific types of people or a certain area of the society. But because I come from this fundamentally kind of standardized business background, because I have degrees in business and finance and marketing, and I have experience in high tech and all this stuff, I want to be a part of the conversation that helps bring the practitioners and the workers in these metaphysical areas forward with the rest of the world in this area. So a lot of my research is about creating this wave of growing practitioners in a comfortable way, in an easy way, into technology like everybody else. So if you went to school to be, an engineer, right now, part of what you would learn, all the technologies and the software and the hardware and the methodologies to present your services in that environment that we're in now. And so I wanted to create that too. So what I've been doing is researching all the ways in which a spiritual practitioner can create an abundant business comfortably in this virtual environment, which is and not lose the integrity of what they do, which is the biggest challenge. Because this right here, I'm real comfortable with this, right? Most of my peers are not. And for spiritual practitioners, this is not what they want to touch people. They want to have that face-to-face engagement. A lot of them don't like this, but this is where we are now. You can sit and try to wait it out, but this is where we are now. And so I wanted to create that. And so it's been really interesting because I've had conversations, I've interviewed people, I've gone and read different articles, trying to find the right software and things for people to work with that's easy to use. I don't want the metaphysical practitioner spending their time and learning how to use a really complicated piece of software. The work they do is complicated enough. I need the spiritual practitioner to be in communion with their hosts to do the magic, wonderful stuff that they do, not sitting down for 6 months trying to figure out how to utilize a video application. Do you know what I mean? It's like, which ones are the easiest ones to use? How do you apply it and all that kind of stuff? That's what I've been engaged in, and it's been real interesting. It's been exhausting, but it's been real interesting trying to put together that whole piece for that. So I'm enjoying it, but it's definitely different. It's been a while since I've been in school, so.
Well, how do you see your spiritual gifts playing a role within the College of Metaphysical Studies?
So there's it's a good question. There's several ways. First of all, there's I've done this. And so it's the experience helping the practitioner that comes understand how to take that and build from it, because I've built a very successful practice that I've been doing for almost 30 years. And so the business of doing business is something, as a business consultant, I know how to do that. And so helping them, it's easy. I could sit here with you, or we could anoint 50,000 students, give them papers and send them off. But now they got to create a business. And most people don't know how to do that. Where I can help, with that is the first thing. The other thing is mentoring and helping them through the process of healing. If you're going to be a practitioner, there's a famous line that they have in medical school. They call, they say, physician, heal thyself, right? Like, if you're going to help me heal, the difference between a healer is you're going to heal to the filters of what you got going on. So if I'm all jacked up and I'm going to heal you, you're going to get all my all my icky, right? So it's like you have to heal your stuff and get yourself in the right resonance so that you can be the most powerful healer there is, whatever your modality is. And so helping them understand how to get there, helping them heal and release, because that's what it comes down to. You gotta let go of stuff, and then helping them know, when they are kind of off kilter, I can help with that. And then finally, just being someone that how can I put it, the example of how it can be successful, and helping coming up with new technologies. I'm excited about creating new technologies and new modalities and new ways in which people can create, and helping them put that together. Because sometimes, there's new stuff coming. The powers that be are giving us inspiration for new stuff. And so somebody's out there right now that has a really cool process and they have no idea how to put it together. And so being a part of that, helping them put that together. So those are the gifts. They don't sound spiritual to most people. They sound very practical. I go to, the local community college, no, because they don't have the vision through the heart of being a practitioner. And it's different. That's what I bring.
Yeah, so I saw the level of excitement when you started talking about software and all of that stuff. Yes. What motivates you?
Oh my God. Before my mom passed away, I lost my mom just a couple years ago, and it devastated me. And she lived with me for 7 years before she left us. And she was like my little baby. And I have this thing that's humorous that I have with everybody out there that's got a parent or a grandparent. And they're like, oh, I got my phone. Well, I'm going to text you. And they're like, I don't know how to use this. Right. And when the little old people say that, I get it. When the practitioner says that to me, it makes me mad. It really does. It's just like, I'm not real comfortable with computers, but you don't get to say it anymore. And I get kind of mad, and I get real passionate. It's like, if you want, because they'll all tell you what they want. If you want to have prosperity, girl, you got to figure out how to use a computer, right? You got to figure out how to do it, because this is where we are now. We're not on the side where, we used to be in bookshops and, at little fairs. We're not there anymore. This is the world now. So what drives me is we need these practitioners. Oh my God, the world is in trouble, and we need the light so bad. We need it. And so if I could take 10 practitioners and help them get up there and out there, that's 10 more people to influence the light, to shine on the darkness. So we live in a world of joy. So that's what drives me. It's like, I don't want to hear any more people tell me about how they're not comfortable with computers, because they should be, because if you're going to be out there and they're talented as all get out, they've got real skills, they've got what we need, and they got to get out here. They got to do this. What you're doing right now is spectacular. Right? Yes. It's spectacular. People need to see them. And so you need the practice. Like, I have a radio program that I do, and part of my mentoring is I bring people on the radio, I interview them on my YouTube channel to give them times at bat to get better and better and better at what they do. That's part of my service. Is when you work with me, you come through all those processes with me. So that you know how to do a podcast, you know how to do video, you understand how to monetize, YouTube, you understand all the things that there are to do to make your business thrive, so that you can go to Cancun and you can go to Hawaii, and you're not stuck at your computer doing 17 hours a day of readings. But you can afford to do what you love to do.
Yes.
That's what drives me.
Very good. Is there anything that you'd like to impart to the TCOM student?
Oh, wow. So
the student prospect even.
I really like that, because, we're all sitting here, especially this last year, trying to figure out who we are, what we're supposed to do. And then there's this communication coming through us from the universe, right? We've all had it. We sit in meditation like, oh, I'm inspired to do this thing and I don't know what it is. And then you're hunting on the internet looking for something, and then like the Metaphysical college pops up. You're like, why did that pop? Why did this pop up? It popped up because you're being asked to look at it. And perhaps you're not sure why. So the first thing I would say to the prospective student is, if it's something that's fascinating to you, pick up the phone or drop a line and ask to speak to somebody, so that you can at least talk through your process and figure out what there is to do. You know, I've been in business for a long time, and I have certifications in personal training and on life coaching, and I have degrees, and it costs money to be educated. You know, nothing in life is free. So we all know that, right? But like investing in yourself to create yourself a mastery in what it is you love is very important. But other than that, it's like you have something that you want to do, but you don't see it out there. That's because it's special for you. And when you take a program at a college like this, in a venue like this, it's going to open that up and bring it out the way God meant it to be, not the way somebody else meant it to be. So stop for a minute and think about, should I do this? Because if you add up all the little classes you've taken, you add up all this stuff, at the end of the day, you've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the course of time getting certified in this, taking that workshop, doing that, but you're still trying to figure out what there is to do. Right? You're still trying to figure it out. So trust is the big thing. That is the biggest and the hardest lesson, that surrender and trust. You got the inspiration, you found the site, you saw the videos, like, oh, this is interesting. A conversation is free. Have a conversation with somebody and see what it looks like. And then if you like the conversation, take that leap of faith, because we need you. The world needs you. It has nothing to do, for me, with my association with the university. I'm excited, I'm proud, and I'm enjoying it, but it's about the world needs practitioners. You think about like Star Wars, it's like the Jedi Knights are being born, and we need them. And so you're being called. It's a calling. When the phone rings and you're being called, you gotta answer it. So that's what I would say. Take a chance with a free phone call and find out if this is for you. And then trust.
Wonderful. Well, I don't think I have any more questions for this interview. I think we pretty much summed it up, and it was an awesome interview, I tell you. Is there anything else that you would, I would like for you to quote out loud how people can reach you?
Great. Absolutely. There's a lot of places to go to reach me. The primary place is angelthacker.com. Everything is there. Angel Thacker, THACKER.com. And you'll see everything and link to everything that I do. But the most important thing I want to say is that in the terms of purpose, you know, I have this soul activation healing that I do. And I talk about activating your soul. So you think about yourself as a ball of energy. And we are all balls of energy, right? These balls of energy that are connected directly to the divine. And we're in communication with the divine every moment of the day. You may not even realize it. We've got a little cord that stems up to the divine source, and the divine source is in communication with us every day as part of our process. When you activate your soul, when you activate it and you're on purpose, that communication is clear and it's bright and it's powerful. And nobody can stop you from doing what you want to do. Nobody can stop you from getting the reward that you're deemed to get. Nobody can stop you from joyous, abundant prosperity in all areas of your life, whether you want love, career, family, travel, everything in the world that you want, your fingers can make happen when you're in that perfect space of activation. So take the time to figure out how to do that. By connecting to the divine, you can reach out to me and I can take you through a process. But you're a happy person when you know you're doing what you've been put here to do. That's the key. That's my passion. And so if you can reach out to me, angelthacker.com, students get a discount, which is really cool. That's another reason why I like it, is like you get a discount. I have some services that are really great. But the biggest thing for me is just get in there and get it done. Because you don't age the same. It's different. Different when you are activated, it's different.
That's wonderful. Yes, and beautiful too.
Yes, it is. So I don't know what other questions I have. I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much for your excitement. I'm Dr. Magazine RichWell with the College of Metaphysical Studies, and I can be reached at www.tcom, that's TCOM, edu.org. You can also email me at info@tcomedu.org.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to continuing my studies, and I'm looking forward to meeting the other students. If you have questions about the college, reach out to me. My bio is on the is right there on the website that she just gave, or you can come visit me at angelthacker.com. Either way, just let me know. If you visit me on the website, you gotta let me know that you're a student.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
A wonderful conversation with the Angel Thacker. Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.